Hello and welcome to Ultraviolet Network's UltraBits. I'm your host, Matt Sharif. UltraBits is a new type of content segment where we provide little tidbits of information surrounding particular technologies, in this case around FortiOS and the Fortinet ecosystem. The goal here is to provide you with these little tidbits that don't necessarily warrant a full video or a full half hour to a 45-minute video on their own, but they're still equally as important. For instance, getting the default configuration of any FortiGate you might need, even though it's not in your possession. So let's say you have a FortiGate, or you're asked to prepare a configuration for a FortiGate 61F, but you don't have any on hand, so you really don't have the default config for that, for any rev of code at that point. So what you're going to need is access to a FortiManager and making sure that the FortiGate in question supports the FortiOS version of the ADOM. With the intent of these videos being relatively short, 5 to 10 minutes, let's go ahead and get on with the good stuff. So let's set the stage a bit. Let's say you were requested to provide a default configuration for a device running, for a 61F, let's say, running 7.0 code. You need the default configuration. Well, a couple things I'm going to go over here. As you can see, I'm running FortiManager version 7.2.1. This is a lab environment. Please don't do this in production. Ad nauseum, yada yada yada. Don't go until release 4 or 5. At any rate, the ask here is someone needs a 61F default config running 7.0 code. Let's say 7.05. Great. How do we do that? Well, we can do that by making sure the ADOM we have is number 1 in the appropriate code revision. So if we go ahead and take a look real quick, there's a 6.4 test, so if I needed a 6.4 default config, we could do that. And I actually have my lab running 7.0, so we're going to go over here and actually work on this. So now, this is great. We have a 7.0 ADOM, and now we just need to get the default config for a 61F running 7.0 code. Great. How do we do that without actually possessing a 61F? The way you do this is you go to Add Device, Add Model Device, and you go to the Pre-Shared Key method. Select the device you want, in this case FortiGate 61F, and let's say the name is Test 61F Default. We can enforce a specific version of FortiOS. In this case, I'm going to do 7.05 as we discussed. And we need to input a pre-shared key. This really doesn't matter. It can be whatever you want it to be. And because we're going to delete this once we got what we need. It's going to create the device database. It's going to do all that. And you'll see here, you'll have the test 61F default sitting there waiting for us. So if we double click on it, we can go to this little total revisions area. And what we can do there is go to More and click on Download FactoryDefault. You will see it is a FortiOS version 7.0 with the correct build. That's important. Close that out. Go back to text editor 0365. And as you can see, it's got all the correct interface namings and all of that specific to a FortiGate. So that's really all there is to it. It's really no more or no less complex than that, and it's pretty straightforward. So hopefully this helps, and thank you for watching.